Here are the When Calls the Heart Season 13 production dates. Hearties who have been begging for more When Calls the Heart Season 13 updates should be thrilled. An industry publication has published the production schedule dates. The show's costume designer, Barbara Gregasova, is already on the set. How soon will the cast be there? Here are all the details about the upcoming schedule. Hearties who have been waiting for news of When Calls the Heart Season 13 should be thrilled with the latest update. Late on Friday, Creative BC published the upcoming production dates. The 13th season is scheduled to start production on July 1. Production will last until October 22. Hallmark films the series on the Jamestown film set just outside of Vancouver, BC, Canada. When Calls the Heart Season 12 ended with a shocking cliffhanger. Elizabeth and little Jack left their beloved Hope Valley to go to Cape Fullerton. This is where Jack's mother lives. Moreover, they have the proper medical facilities that can best care for the young boy's diabetes. Right before they left town, Nathan and Allie joined them. Now the big question is, how long would these four characters live away from their Hope Valley friends? New showrunner Joy Gregory has not shared a lot of information on what happens next. However, she did indicate that Nathan and Bill have a big situation to deal with that is close to Hope Valley. In addition, Season 13 will show Elizabeth going through a lot. She has a young son with diabetes. This will force her character to grow in many ways. But Gregory has also cautioned that they will not dwell on little Jack's diabetes. One big question that Hearties have is whether or not Elizabeth and Nathan will get married, or at least be engaged. Joy Gregory is not sharing any of that information. As for Lucas Bouchard, it appears that he will be the former governor, as he will be living in Hope Valley full-time. Moreover, Chris McNally's character will have a very active storyline, but she did not elaborate on what he will be doing. Moreover, she did not share whether Edie Martell will be part of his life or the series. Also, she promised more of Henry Gowan. Hearties noticed that Martin Cummins was not in a lot of Season 12 storylines, but she promises that there will be a big storyline for him. As for other storylines, there should be more information forthcoming as they start filming in July. That also includes announcements of guest stars. Hearties, what are you most excited to see in When Calls the Heart Season 13? Is there a storyline that resonates with you? As fans eagerly await the return of When Calls the Heart, the beloved Hallmark Channel drama set in the fictional town of Hope Valley, there's been one question circulating through Heartie communities everywhere. When does production begin on the new season? Well, dust off your bonnets and tea sets, Hearties, because production for Season 13 is set to kick off in late July 2025, with cast and crew expected to report to Vancouver and Langley, British Columbia, by July 25. Filming will officially begin Monday, July 28, and wrap up in early December 2025, just in time for a potential spring 2026 premiere. But there's more to it than just cameras and call sheets. Let's take a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into bringing Hope Valley to life. A town that wakes with the crew. Each morning during filming, the set, constructed in the pastoral reaches of Canada, comes alive before the sun even peaks over the mountaintops. Production assistants dart through the fog streets of Hope Valley, ensuring the lanterns are straight, the signs are brushed clean, and not a speck of modernity remains in view. It's a quiet ballet that begins well before Aaron Krakow, Elizabeth Thatcher, or Kevin McGarry, Nathan Grant ever arrive in costume. For When Calls the Heart, authenticity matters. The show's visual charm lies in its devotion to period detail. We start with atmosphere, says longtime location manager Jillian Coates. Fog machines, horse wranglers, even the chickens get a 5 a.m. wake-up lines and cast camaraderie. According to insiders, The full cast will be reuniting for table reads starting July 21, just days before the cameras start rolling. These table reads are far more than just reciting lines. They're emotional homecomings. When we come together again for the first time after months apart, it feels like a school reunion, says Pascal Hutton, Rosemary Coulter. We laugh, we cry, and then we dive into the drama. Expect these early rehearsals to hint at the new emotional arcs that season 13 will explore. With Elizabeth and Nathan's relationship finally taking center stage after years of yearning, and Rosemary adjusting to motherhood, the scripts are already said to be intensely heartfelt, according to a writer close to the production. Hallmark's secret schedule. The Hallmark Channel is famously discreet with production timelines. However, leaked scheduling documents from a Vancouver area union bulletin hint that When Calls the Heart will shoot across 16 weeks, with key episodes, including the always iconic Hope Valley Christmas special, being filmed in mid-November. Costume designer Barbara Gregson is already preparing for a wintry climax. We need to fake snow, but it has to look like real prairie snow. Soft, not slushy. Sparkling, not soggy. Expect to see the Christmas episode become a major focal point of this season's production. In fact, the final 2 weeks of filming will reportedly include over 100 background actors, a working train, and more than a dozen children in a staged schoolhouse performance scene. New characters, old secrets. Season 13 will also introduce a handful of new characters, and casting calls went out as early as May 2025. Among them is a mysterious new widow from the East, described as elegant, calculating, and potentially dangerous, as well as a teen boy with a runaway past and a secret connection to someone in town. These characters are expected to be introduced in the first half of the season, with the widow possibly shaking up the still tender friendship between Bill Avery and Molly Sullivan. We're always walking a line between tradition and surprise, says showrunner Lindsay Sturman. Hope Valley has heart, but it also has secrets. This season will explore both. Behind the lens, new directors, new energy. This year, 3 episodes will be directed by cast members themselves. Aaron Krakow and Ben Rosenbaum, Mike Hickam, are both confirmed to take a turn in the director's chair. Rosenbaum shared his excitement. "I've spent years watching Hope Valley evolve from the inside out. Getting to frame a scene, to decide what emotion leads it, is a dream. Expect episode 5 to look a little different, in a good way." The crew will also benefit from new camera technology and upgraded lighting equipment, all of which will help enhance the show's romantic, glowing visual style. Think candlelight dinners, snowy night strolls, and slow dancing under gas lanterns. Community support and a real-life Hope Valley. Even during the busiest filming days, the towns surrounding the set embrace When Calls the Heart with open arms. Local businesses often cater lunches for the crew, and schoolchildren are invited to visit the set during quiet days between major shoots. Tourism also spikes when production begins. Fans hoping for a glimpse of Elizabeth in action frequently book trips to Langley during filming season. Though the set is closed to the public, nearby caves often buzz with cast sightings. What happens after the cameras stop? Once filming wraps in December, the post-production team will begin editing throughout the winter and early spring. Music, voiceovers, and final touches on effects, like those famous snowstorms, will bring the season to life. And if tradition holds, When Calls the Heart will return to screens in March 2026, with Hallmark making an official announcement in early February. One last note from Hope Valley. As preparations ramp up and costumes are pulled from storage, the spirit of Hope Valley is awakening once more. There are stories to tell, hearts to heal, and love to discover in every dusty street and schoolhouse corner. With production beginning July 28, fans can rest assured that the next chapter in Hope Valley's story is about to be written. And somewhere just off camera, a bell is ringing. A teacher is arriving. And a town's heart begins to beat again.